Is there such a thing as NDI triggers?
Okay, that's a good question. So, yes, I will say yes. And if this is what you mean, NDI is a video production protocol. NDI has a lot of different things in the transmission. Okay, so NDI has video, obviously, right? That's the core value of it. But it also has PTZ control. It also has tally, meaning it knows if it's connected to a video production software, it knows whether it's not live, in preview, or live. The camera I'm looking at now is live, so I see a little red light on the top of it. And that is coming through NDI. And then NDI also has metadata. So NDI has data about the source. Is it a PTZ camera? What's the name of the PTZ camera? What is the IP address? What is the multicast address? Is it available to the public? So, for example, a lot of people don't realize when they have a bunch of NDI sources on their network, if a kid walks in with a laptop to their network and knows how to use NDI tools, they can go and view all of your cameras and control them pretty easily. But if you properly set up your NDI system with Domain Manager and you manage access to those NDI sources, even if a kid comes to your network at your school or your church or whatever and plugs in a computer via Wi-Fi or whatever, they won't be able to see your NDI sources because you properly managed the Domain Manager, which is in the metadata of the NDI. Now, getting to your question, after I have filled in the background for this, PTZOptics SuperJoy has triggers. So if we go to the triggers, which this is brand new, by the way, and I do think it has a lot of value, and I think it is similar to what you're asking for. If you go to one of these cameras, okay, we have a button here called custom, and this is what we call, isn't this supposed to have triggers? Let me take a look at, maybe it's called triggers, but it actually is discussed as custom. Okay, that's what it is. So we call it a trigger because essentially what this is a custom button. Okay, now this is going to be a really technical show, but I think that our audience is very technical. They're going to follow along with this. But I just dropped this hint of something, so I need to step backwards. This is a complicated question. Okay, do you remember when I said, hey, the SuperJoy now supports virtual custom buttons?
Yes.
I mentioned it like kind of as an offhand remark, but now I realize that is how the triggers work. So let me just tie this full circle here. So if you add a custom button, which I'm doing here on the screen right here, I'm going to show this closer. I like to show things close. If I add a custom button, why would I want to add all these custom buttons? Well, you can add additional custom buttons. And once you add this custom button, you can set it up so that when you switch to that video source, it will trigger that custom button. So it could be so it's kind of an NDI trigger to get to the original question. You can set it up so, okay, here's that custom button. Hit save. Every time you switch to that, it's going to call whatever you set up that custom button to do, meaning you can have an NDI camera with a trigger.
So a little tricky, but you can get there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really what he wanted, but by explaining it, we actually kind of went a little bit of a deep dive there on some features on the SuperJoy.